Hi, welcome to the Mark Janot Show, the tech show about hacking, right? So in this video, I'm going to put two things, smush them together. First thing is I'm going to provide an update on this Tor hack that may have occurred or may not have occurred. And then in the second part, I'm going to talk about this smartphone that may be a honeypot. I'm going to tell you what I learned. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going dark. So, we are sure you'll be pleased to know Microsoft Defender has stopped mistakenly breaking the latest version of the Tor browser. The antivirus tool had flagged and quarantined the application's core to Tor.exe program as a Trojan, causing the software to stop working as desired. So that's your verification. This is according to the Tor project's developers and users. A spokesperson for the Windows giant earlier told the register, Microsoft is currently looking into the matter. The Tor browser is an open source Firefox-based web browser that uses the Tor network to anonymously visit websites. The application's Tor.exe program does the job of routing the browser's connections through Tor network nodes to hide the true public IP address of the user. Over the weekend, Defender, Microsoft antivirus tool built into Windows, began reporting the browser's Tor.exe as the Win32 malgent, you can put that on screen, malware. When users tried to put the just released Tor browser version 12.5.6, Defender would try to remove the executable, having decided it was a security threat, which would stop the browser from running as intended. The Tor project on Sunday said it finally received a reply from Redmond regarding the snafu. Microsoft, according to a project forum moderator, said it had updated Defender's definitions to now play nice with the Tor.exe after deciding the submitted files do not meet our criteria for malware or potentially unwanted applications. The IT giant provided steps that Windows and Tor browser users can take to refresh Defender and ensure they can continue browsing in private. Number one, open the command prompt as administrator and change directory to, Peter put that on the screen, run, Peter put that on the screen again, run that. And then 3, run. Peter put that on the screen again. The Tor project encouraged users to make sure Defender is up to date and unquarantine the .exe or reinstall Tor browser. We still don't know why Defender was flagged the executable in the first place. Some on Reddit have speculated it has to do with the Tor's proof of work, the POW code, which is a recently added feature intended to fend off distribution denial of the service attacks that might look like cryptocurrency mining to Defender, or that it was a generic heuristic detection gone wrong. Heuristics, one of the methods Defender uses for threat detection, compares code to previously known malware samples to detect questionable code and can lead to false positives. This, of course, isn't the first time Defender has labeled benign stuff as malicious. In March, Microsoft antivirus was flagging URLs, including those of Zoom and Google, as potentially dangerous, causing headaches for anyone who didn't belong to a strictly Office 365 organization. To be fair, if Tor executable was actually a Trojan, this wouldn't have been the first time criminals had disguised malware as legit Tor project software. In fact, clipboard injector malware spoofing Tor browser installers has been used to steal about $400,000 in cryptocurrency this year alone, Casper Sky said in March. So let's go to the next one. The American billionaire best known for founding the notorious private military firm Blackware, which became globally infamous for killing Iraqi civilians and threatening U.S. government investigators, was pushing Unplugged, a smartphone startup promising free speech, privacy, and security, untethered from dominant tech giants like Apple and Google. In June, Prince publicly revealed the new phone priced at $850. You ain't Apple. But before that, beginning at 2021, he was privately hawking the device to investors using a previously unreported pitch deck that had been obtained by MIT Technology Review. It boldly claims that the phone and its operating system are impenetrable.
It was all a lie.
To surveillance, interception, and tampering, and its messaging services is marketed as impossible to intercept or decrypt, boasting falsely that Unplug has built the first operating system free of big tech monetization and analytics. Prince bragged that the device is protected by government-grade encryption. Better yet, the pitch added Unplug is to be hosted on a global array of server farms so that it can be never taken offline. One option, it said, to be a server farm on a vessel located in an undisclosed location on international waters connected via satellite to Elon Musk's Starlink. An Unplug spokesperson explained that they benefit in having servers not to be subject to any governmental law. The Unplug investigator pitch deck is a messy mix of these impossible claims, meaningless buzzwords, and outright fiction. The product is the latest example in a decade-long tradition of privacy and security-focused smartphones that promise to do more than your Android or iPhone can to protect you and your data. Ever since Edward Snowden 2013 revelations about American spying, a new phone has popped up in this market at least once per year. The trend was already so prominent in 2014 that MIT Technology Reviewed called ultra-private phones one of the year's technology breakthroughs. Well, mea culpa. Almost every attempt to build this kind of phone has failed. While none of the experts I spoke with had yet been able to test the phone or read its code because the company hasn't provided access, the evidence available suggests Unplug will fall widely short of what's promised. So too good to be true. No device is impenetrable. That's been proven over time, says David Richardson, who's the vice president at the mobile security firm Lookout. The selling points of Unplug's device, known as the UP phone, are built on enormous promises of security and privacy that go beyond what any phone can accomplish. Buzzwords like government-grade encryption imply some kind of heightened protection, but as the company never mentions, governments use the same standard encryption as the rest of us. When asked about the phrase by MIT Technology Review, Unplugged acknowledged this message doesn't resonate well with our community and said they won't use it moving forward. There are two things happening here, says Alan, right, a cyber intelligence analyst at the cybersecurity firm Recorded Future. There are the actual attempts to make real secure phones, and then there is the marketing BS. Distinguishing between those two can be really hard. Prince told investigators the UP phone is built on engineers with deep experiences in lawful interception, surveillance, and spoofing capabilities. While taking various privacy and security enhancements from open source projects, Unplug president Ryan Patterson told MIT Technology Review via email, Unplug's proprietary operating system developed their own enhancements, including based on knowledge not available to the public 0 days and others. A 0-day vulnerability is an unknown security weakness that can be attacked via exploit that can sell for millions of dollars. Unplug's day-to-day technology operations are run by Iran, a former employee of the Communitake, the Israeli startup that gave rise to the now infamous hacker for hire firm NSO Group. There, Karpin built the intact phone, which the company called a military-grade mobile device. He's also a veteran of Israel's Unit 8200, an agency that conducts cyber espionage and is the country's equivalent of the NSA. But anyone with that experience should be able to see through Prince's claim that the UP phone is impossible to surveil. When I work within the U.S. Intelligence, we penetrated a number of phone companies overseas, says Liska. We were inside those phone companies. We could easily track people based on where they're connected to the towers. So when you talk about being impenetrable, that's wrong. This is a phone, and the way that phones work is they triangulate to cell towers, and there's always latitude and longitude for exactly where you're sitting, he adds. Nothing you do to the phone is going to change that. The UP phone's operating system, called LibreOS, is a proprietary version of Google's Android, according to an Unplugged spokesman. It's running on an unclear mix of hardware that a company spokesperson says they're designed on their own. Even just maintaining a unique Android fork, a version of the operating system that departs from the original, like a fork in the road, is a difficult endeavor that can cost massive money and resources, experts warn. For a small startup, that can be an insurmountable challenge. There is such a high volume of vulnerabilities that Android is disclosing and patching on an ongoing basis that you really do need to stay on top of all of those, says Richardson. Keeping all the software and hardware compatible with every new version of Android is something that very few companies other than tech giants can effectively do. To deal with that, some niche phones simply don't adopt new Android versions, a cheaper but more dangerous road. Another key issue is lifespan. Apple's iPhones are considered the most secure consumer device on the market, due in part to the fact that the company offers security updates to some of the older phones for 6 years, longer than virtually all competitors. When support for a phone ends, its security vulnerabilities go unaddressed and the phone is no longer secure. There is no information available on how long UP phones will receive security support. Some other privacy phones are serious if imperfect products. The Librem 5, for example, is built by Purism, an American social purpose corporation specializing in privacy-oriented products. The phone is fully transparent and publishes source code and hardware details for anyone to see. Unlike Unplugged, which has released precious few details next to big promises, Librem is based on Linux, a free and open source operating system that gives the lie to Prince's false claim of being the first to create an operating system outside big tech. Numerous commercially available phones have done this already. The Librem's critical reception has been nuanced. Reviewers have praised the phone's ambition and details, as well as the relatively straightforward and honest marketing, a respectable feat in and of itself. But like many Linux devices, it will appeal most to tech experts and people who can tolerate a significant learning curve. Graphene OS is another sober and credible project that has set to deliver a secure open source auditable operating system for Android phones. Unplugged sits on the opposite end of the spectrum. The company's claim that the phone is impenetrable recalls the hack-proof phone that John McAfee, known for being accused of running a multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency fraud just before his death, tried to sell in 2017. Since it was publicly unveiled in June 2022, the unplugged phone has become an object of skepticism and scorn among cybersecurity experts. Words and phrases like government grade and impenetrable are rightly mocked online by the computer security community because we know that they're used to fool people, says Nicholas Weaver, who's a cybersecurity researcher at the International Computer Science Institute. Weaver believes the UP phone is not so much about the technology as it is about the perceived sales opportunity. This is a right-wing affinity fraud, he argues. In fact, the phone was originally called the Red-Pilled Phone, a name based on the meme adored by the American far right. Prince is a vocal supporter of former President Donald Trump, and he debuted the phone on War Room, a podcast hosted by former Trump strategist Steve Bannon. Bannon and his fans got a discounted code from the show. It's initially surprising then to see Prince pitch investors on the idea that the people will appeal to right-wing and left-wing alike, but this offers a clue as to why Unplugged dropped the Red Pill name. Still, Prince may have found a receptive audience in Bannon's followers, which could matter greatly to the success of the phone. Its future will likely come down to how much customers believe in Prince and his claims. So what do you think about this, okay? Do you think that this UP is a honeypot? Do you think they lying? Do you think they scheming on us? Do you think they trying to pull the wool on us? Please let me know your opinion. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. Please share the content. I appreciate your viewership. See you on the next video.